Hello, and welcome to On the Way Moments, a podcast from St. Anthony on the Desert Episcopal Church here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm Will Strong.
I'm Jill Kyler.
And we're your hosts today. And today's episode will be one of the segments we call Just a Moment. And this is when Jill and I can discuss topics that we find interesting, that we think you will as well. Again, not licensed in any of information. We find information, we share it with you, but we hope you enjoy this episode. And so today, Jill, what are we talking about?
Today, I'd like to talk about loving kindness.
That's a good one. I like that. So why this topic? Why did you pick this one?
Well, I think we need more of it.
We do.
Or we at least need some of it.
Some of it.
Because all you have to do is listen to the news, watch TV, and everyone's so angry.
Yeah.
And they hold each other in such disdain. And everything feels hurtful to me. So when I first started thinking about this particular topic, I called it good deeds.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, I'll see what Mr. Google has to say about good deeds. And I found out that the bar now is set so low that the number one good deed that people say they do is to hold the door open.
That's a good deed?
That's a good deed. For me, that was good manners.
Yeah, right.
You hold the door open, you help somebody.
Yeah.
God forbid you let somebody cut in front of you in traffic, you know, and not try to cut them off.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, this isn't what I'm talking about at all. What I'm thinking of are really kind, compassionate deeds that are done with love, not just manners.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking about, why is the bar set so low?
Yeah.
And I think it's because people are so afraid of being criticized for what they do, and that they just withdraw.
Yeah.
They don't want to put themselves out to have someone else be offended
Right.
at what they're doing. And so, as of today, I think we should stop that.
I think that's perfect. So why would people want to do good deeds? Not just good deeds, but the loving kindness.
Well, one thing, just the physical effect you get from doing something good. I mean, they already have research that shows that people who do acts of loving kindness, people who volunteer, live longer, live happier, live healthier. And then there's the benefit of seeing that something that you did actually made a difference in this world and helped somebody else. And the other thing that I thought was interesting in this research also says that just seeing or reading about someone else doing a good deed has that same effect on you. And additionally, it can make you want to go out and do something yourself.
So it's like a goodness contagious.
Yes,
Is that
ripple.
Is that a contagious?
Absolutely. Goodness is
goodness contagious. Yeah.
But it's a ripple effect that goes out. And I thought, what a great thing to happen. But what really stands in our way is when we decide who deserves an act of loving kindness and who doesn't.
Who exactly?
You know, who would really benefit and who's a jerk. And the idea of loving kindness is that there's no judgment.
Right.
You do it so that you're making the world a better place. It's not up to you to decide whether that person is worthy of that. Worthy of your loving kindness. Because basically, when we do an act of loving kindness, we're just showing the love that we have, which is the love of Jesus.
Right.
So that's to be spread all around.
That's like the song, "They'll Know We Are Christians by Our Love."
Yes,
I mean, that's that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. So what are some ways of showing loving kindness on a regular basis?
Well, I guess number one is up your manners.
Since the door holding is considered a good deed.
The bar is so low. So for sure,
Yeah.
please and thank you. Let me
Yeah.
get that for you. Yes, please,
Yeah.
you go first.
Yeah.
Little things. Oh, you have fewer items than I do in the checkout line. You go first. So that definitely is a good starting point. But keep on going from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all you have to do is look around. You know people who are struggling, who could use some help.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be huge to begin with. A phone call, an email, a plate of cookies on somebody's doorstep. Just some way of showing this person that they're loved and that they're being thought of. And I think something that we should all keep in mind is that at some point in our lives, we're going to be on the receiving.
We need the help. Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. When we'll need not necessarily a plate of cookies, but the love that came with those cookies.
Yep. You know, and that's a good point. I think we talk a lot about we always hear about the people buying the Starbucks and for the person behind them, and then that chain just keeps on going. But even down to, I really like writing notes, little handwritten notes.
Yeah.
And so I'll think of somebody and say, oh, especially particular family, I'm like, oh, I need to send them a note. And getting mail that's handwritten is just incredible.
And how out of the ordinary.
Exactly. We don't get that much.
No.
And so that's, for me, like, that's a way that I'm able to, and you don't even think about it. I just think about this person, or I even just, hey, I was thinking about you, or just something that's maybe small to us, but maybe they needed to hear it at that time. I mean, we don't know what everyone's going through.
No, and so many times I've heard too that something that I've done, not to pat myself on the back, but somebody will say, well, you know, that came at a day when I had just bottomed out.
Yep.
And I really needed to know that somebody else knew I was alive.
Yep.
You know, sometimes we're very isolated.
Yep. Absolutely. Like, you know, that's a good word, especially with everything we've kind of gone through. People feel like we're all by ourselves, but we're not. And so just letting people know, I'm here for you. I got your back.
Oh, of course.
It's beneficial for sure.
And it's just so easy to withdraw and not ask for help. And people say, you let me know what I can do for you.
Right.
You're never going to say, okay, I need...
I need that plate of cookies.
Yeah, I need some cookies.
Right.
I need for you to do something totally unexpected.
Exactly.
You know,
wink, wink, help me out here.
People just don't ask for that.
Yeah.
And so we just need to go ahead, figure out something to do and do it.
Yeah.
You know, and do it with the love of Jesus.
That's right.
You know, that's it.
That's right. So what has inspired you to, in this, not just this topic, but in your loving kindness ways?
Oh, well, I think reading and seeing acts of loving kindness, you know, sometimes get a little teary. I'm just like, wow, that's an extraordinary human being. And, you know, at the time, they're just doing what obviously came naturally for them to do, just using their skills and abilities for what the situation calls for. So it's not like you can always plan, well, today I'm going to do this and do this. And, you know, you just have to be aware of your surroundings. But as I was doing my research, I came across some really feel-good stories. And some of them kind of reminded me of how you'll hear the evening news and it'll be wonk, 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 wonk for a half an hour. And then the person doing the commentary goes, now we have a feel-good story. And by that time, you are gutted.
Exactly.
And, you know, there is no feel-good story that's going to pick you up. So we're going to run with the feel-good stories without the wah, 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 wah.
Exactly.
So one of my favorite stories is and this is about a group of people who are kind of painted with the same brush. So this motorcycle club was on a tour. They were like from Indiana or Michigan or something like that, and they were going into a different state, into Indiana. They had a terrible accident, and a bunch of them were injured, and they were all over the place in the road. And this woman and her daughter were driving by, and the woman, stopped her car and went running out. She was a nurse.
Okay.
And the daughter stayed in the car and was watching, and so she was truly the first responder.
Wow, yeah.
And she was just going from person to person to see what she could do. And then the police and all came, and the ambulances and everything. But I mean, she just did amazing.
Right.
And one of the people in the motorcycle club had searched her out and became her Facebook friend. And for a year, they were Facebook friends and all. And the woman's daughter was having a lemonade stand.
Okay.
And so the guy who saw it on Facebook, and he put the word out in his club that the daughter of this woman was serving the best lemonade in the world. And so they came from another state over, and they were all lined up. Well, they scared the neighbors to death because there were all motorcycles there. But I saw the pictures, and they were the nurse was like hugging all of them, and they were hugging the little girl. And I thought, how sweet. That was just amazing.
She became rich that day.
Yes, she did.
In more ways than one.
They drank a lot of
lemonade.
And then another story, which I really liked because it was about an Episcopal church, and this one in New Mexico. And they wanted to, during the pandemic, they want to help people with their medical bills because so many people under the poverty level were just overwhelmed by their medical bills. They will never get out from underneath. So this church, instead of just going directly to help individual families, went through a nonprofit debt collection service that buys medical debt, pennies on the dollar. And this church did a fundraising. They raised $15,000.
Wow.
Well, they found out by going through this debt collector that they had been able to wipe out all the debt of people in need in the state of New Mexico.
Oh, my word.
With their money, with the $15,000.
Just the $15,000.
Had money left over and erased the debt of some people in neighboring Arizona.
Wow.
And it's like, what you can do with just a little thought and, going that extra step, showing loving kindness. And, I really like that one. And then there was this one that just happened, with a shortage of employees.
Yes.
Waffle House. This young employee was the only one who showed up.
Oh, no.
And there are all these people coming in to eat waffles.
Oh, no.
And then they quickly realized that this guy was all on his own.
Was the cashier, the cook, and the waiter?
Some of the guest got up and helped him, went into the kitchen, cooked waffles, were seating people.
Oh, no way.
Oh, it was hilarious. And they just jumped in to help. That's
all they can do.
Yeah. And, God bless this guy for showing up for work.
Right. I'm just trying to get a paycheck here. Aw.
And then here in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area, a wonderful thing happened. The city of Phoenix got money to feed people during the pandemic.
Nice.
And instead of just going to the families again and giving them money, the city set up this this program called Feed Phoenix.
Okay.
And what they did was they took the money and they went to the farmers, the local farmers who are really suffering.
Wow.
Bought the food
from the farmer directly
from the farmers. But they didn't stop there.
Okay.
They went to the restaurants where some of them were closed.
And hurt. Yeah.
Went to the restaurants with the farmers' food and said, "We'll pay you to cook these meals and to serve them."
Wow. That's awesome.
And so they ended up benefiting the farmers, the restaurant people, and they served over 50,000 meals.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I know.
That's incredible.
I know. Man. That was, I just, it's stories like that just, somebody, and here you have a government agency. Someone thought beyond, here we have X amount of money, and we'll just divvy it up, and here you go buy a bag of chips.
Right, because with the money that that they probably got, it wouldn't have been able to feed 50,000 people. No. It may have done 10,000.
No,
if you divvy it up to say, okay, here's food for a week.
And it was fresh, and it was healthy.
It was low. I mean, it supported everybody.
It supported all the farmers, their families. It supported
cool.
all the people in the restaurants, their families.
Like that one. I didn't know that one. That's a good story.
Oh,
that's cool.
I love it.
Way to go, Phoenix and Arizona.
In Nevada?
In Nevada, New
Mexico.
New Mexico. Well, Nevada, you may have done some good stuff too.
We'll talk about that.
We haven't gotten there yet.
And then of course, the last one is with the anniversary of 9/11.
Oh.
You think about the people who, the first responders who, as everyone was running out, they were running in. And honestly, I know that's part of the job, but that was way beyond the job. Way beyond the job. And then the people on Flight 93 that took that plane down. That
kind of knew this is what I have to do. The whole let's go.
Let's roll. And so, that's loving kindness to the 10th degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
kind of thinking about those stories and that, like, where does the church fit into all of this?
Well, I think that's where the church really shines. Because the church isn't Sunday, it's the other 6 days.
Absolutely.
For us, we come on Sunday to get prepared for the other 6 days. So we come here and we feel the love of God, and we know that we're not alone. And so we can go out into the community because that's where we see people. We're not going to see them necessarily inside our sanctuary. Go out and really spread what we've received.
Absolutely.
So it's a way to see the hurting and strengthening the community, and also strengthening ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
We just keep strengthening our own faith when we go out and use it.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's the concept, but using our faith. So it's funny that you say that, because I was just thinking about the golf tournament that St. Anthony hosted, and the number of ministries over the years. This was the 11th annual, and raising over $35,000 this year alone during a pandemic. It's insane. It's incredible. I mean, we're almost at $1 million of helping in that regard. I mean, so there's other ways that St. Anthony has not to toot our own horn, but we do a really good job of outreach.
I think we make it a priority.
Absolutely.
It has to be a priority. It can't be an add-on.
No.
And I think anyone who comes to St. Anthony knows that it is a priority, and they either agree or they disagree. And, we don't usually see them again. But we have so many ways of being able to show loving kindness to other people. It's not like you have to dream up a new way. We already have things in process that you can join in. I mean, like the men's group goes to a men's shelter down in Mason. They feed them hot meals. And that they've been doing that for years. There's also the bike club too. The bicycle shop. They set up a bicycle shop so that the men who are trying to get jobs and trying to get to work, they go by bicycle. They have parts there for them, which is crucial. Because if you're riding a bike with a flat tire, you're not going to get far.
You're not going to make it to work.
No, you're not going to make it to work. Not going to make it to work. We have another group of people who go and pack meals to go in kids' backpacks that they take home on the weekends. And these are kids that their families rely on the meals they get at school all week long. And so when they get home on the weekends, the family is really struggling. So the kids get to take food home in their backpacks, and they are packaged to fit in the backpack so that other kids don't see which kids are taking food home. So there's no stigma there or anything like that. And then we provide brand new school clothes for kids.
We just did that. This company ministry has a bus that they bring up to a school, and these kids get, permission slips from their parents, and they come in and they'll get shirts, pants, underwear, socks, shoes, jacket, and it's just St. Anthony went out, and there was about 6 of us that we just gave fit kids for clothes, and the kids were so appreciative, and it's just seeing them like, I'm gonna wear these shoes out, and it's just the most adorable thing ever, and it's there's a pride that goes along with that, and so I just did that last week, and it was quite impressive.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. And you make the kids feel good, but what you leave with that is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's with all of the ones that you mentioned. Like, I always talk about one of our other youth leaders. He would always be like, I get so much out of seeing what these youth and these I get so much out of this trip, even though I'm a sponsor or an adult leader. We just get so much out of this too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And then there's our Haiti ministry. Oh, yeah. And we've gone to Haiti for probably 10 years. Yeah. And this year has been especially brutal because they had another earthquake followed immediately by a hurricane.
Yeah.
So the people that we knew were affiliated with a hospital and Episcopal school there. We knew what they needed, and we were able here at church to raise money to fund two-day mobile clinics that could go out into the rural areas, which is all of Haiti that's not big population points. Right. And those rural areas don't really have any access to medical treatment.
And they're hard to get to. And
the roads are bad.
Yeah.
So we were able to provide medical treatment to an unknown number of people, which is just fantastic. Yeah. And that was just all of us getting together.
Over the course of like 3 weeks. Yeah. It was maybe a month.
It was incredible. And thank you for all of you
for sure
who donated it, because I know some of you aren't even members of the church.
Right.
You just heard about it and wanted to do something. And all the money, every penny, went directly to the mobile clinics.
And that's the cool thing about not just St. Anthony, but a lot of churches like this, like we don't keep any of that money. No. So everything that, if we say we're raising money for Haiti, if we say we're raising money for the men's shelter, all of the money that's raised goes directly to those organizations. Right. We don't cut any off for administrative costs. In fact, we even, for the wiring fee, somebody's like, I'll take care of the $35 to wire it. Let's not take it out of that fund. It's just this, everything that we can raise, we go directly to.
Every penny.
Yeah.
That's no overhead.
Exactly.
We work cheap.
That's right.
And then for decades, we have worked through Habitat for Humanity here in the Phoenix area. So that's just a mainstay of one of our ways of showing loving kindness.
And that's cool because you don't even have to be, I've done it and I'm not good with power tools.
No. Oh, there's always something you
But
can do.
I can literally go and work there for sure. And they even let me, so.
Yeah. And then one of our ministries knits prayer shawls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And those prayer shawls are made while people are saying prayers, each stitch, and they go to people in crisis. And it's just, people are overwhelmed when they're able to wrap these prayer shawls around them and they realize where they came from and how they were made. And so these are people who have the skill of knitting and crocheting.
Seriously, yeah.
And some people have kept their prayer shawls for years. And I know my mother did.
Right, and it's just a reminder that somebody has prayed. These have been blessed. Somebody's prayed for me. Yeah. And I feel that comfort and that warmth of not just this group, but of Jesus. Of this. Oh, for sure. Of the love that's poured out.
Yeah,
through this.
It's palatable. You can feel it when you touch it.
Yeah,
you touch
absolutely.
It. And then I saved the best for last, and that's our high school mission trips that we go on every year, and we take high school kids all over the United States to do work projects. And most of the kids on their first trip, they're like, I don't know how to do anything.
Seriously.
I'm not going to be able to help.
You want me to help?
I don't know how to do this. And, what we see is these kids coming to the realization of what they can actually do.
Absolutely.
And how they can improve someone's lives.
Yep.
And we're right in someone's home, so we get to see the resident every day. So they get to meet the person one-on-one and hear what that means for the person whose home that we're fixing up. And I think that the kids come back and they are on fire.
Yeah.
So many times their parents have said, I don't know what happened, but it was pretty amazing. This is a different kid.
This is a different person.
This is a different kid. And then each evening in our program, we talk about God sightings that we saw during the day. And, at first the kids think, oh, God sighting must be this bolt of lightning.
Right.
And no, I didn't see anything like that. And then after a few days, they realize that a God sighting is when they see someone help someone else. Yeah. Or they talk to the resident and the resident tells them a story about their youth or something like that. And they realize that God is in all these little parts. It doesn't have to be a great big thing. You just have to look for it. You have to be aware of it.
I think one of my favorites was, my God sighting was my resident gave us ice cream. And it's like, it really is like, maybe at that moment you needed that ice cream.
Exactly.
And it's like, yes.
It was so unexpected.
It was so unexpected. And you're like, okay, you're getting it.
And I think that is what kind of defines acts of loving kindness, is they're unexpected. Yeah. And that there's no repayment that's expected.
Absolutely. I mean, it's exactly, and that's kind of the whole idea of this whole podcast is, something, maybe a small moment like that can really shift an act of loving kindness can literally change the course of somebody's life.
Right.
And it's wild. It's
Absolutely.
Cool to think that that's the thing.
Yeah. And that they'll talk about it for years.
Absolutely.
And people, different people will be hearing about it for years too. So the story continues on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it inspires people to do things. Well, if you remember this story from 10 years ago, I could have done that.
Right. Absolutely.
And so it enables people to also do their own acts of kindness.
It's that contagious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There we go again.
That's right, that word. So
Put the mask back.
Right? where does the church fit into all of this, and how do you see this?
Well, I think that basically how people can do something with this is to just go out and look around.
Yeah.
And there's opportunities all the time, even if they're small. Build up.
Yeah.
You know what? You get in the habit of doing it, and then it's second nature.
Absolutely.
It's second nature, and I think that being together as a faith community, we inspire each other to do things like that. We hear stories of what people are doing and think, okay, it's time for me to do something like that too. Right. So, and we all have some skills at something, and whatever resources we have, whatever we have that we can share, do it. Yeah. If it's a phone call, whatever it is, just see where there's a need and fill it, and you don't necessarily have to ask first. No.
And that's the cool thing, is we even have, like, here we have a prayer ministry that we just call up one person and boom, it's going through the cycle. Right. And that is an act of loving kindness on that person to sit and say, I'm going to take a minute to say a prayer for this person that needs it. Like, you're right, because then it goes to that next person and they say a prayer too. So you just got this. You're right. They see something that maybe, like, I'm not. So people are like, I'm used to praying. I pray a lot. Great. That's an act of loving kindness. Right. And that's a way to share your gifts.
Yeah. Identify it.
Absolutely. Own it. Absolutely. Own your gift and then use it for the glory of God and for that loving kindness. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And in the end, we all win.
Absolutely.
The receiver, the giver. Yeah. Jesus.
That's right.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jill, is there anything else that you may think of?
Well, yeah. I didn't know a friend sent me a meditation while I was researching this, and I'll just close with part of the meditation. Yeah. I really liked it. Excuse my cough. How we love always boomerangs. Love boomerangs, compassion boomerangs, kindness boomerangs. God's glory goes round and around through the hands and the feet of his people, and the hurting are healed. Ooh. And I love that. So we're all boomerangs.
We're all boomerangs.
I can wrap my head around that.
I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. That's
so what you do doesn't go somewhere and stay there and die.
Exactly.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
So, be on the lookout.
Yes. So thank you, Jill. And that's it for us today.
It is. And we have to say we miss our sound guy, Shane, like crazy. He's on a wilderness adventure.
That's right.
And
we are too trying to figure this out.
So we'll see how this all turns out. I think the video might be a little wonky, but you'll still be able to hear us, hear the audio. So thanks so much.
Thank you. And until next time, see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.